Hey everybody, this is Wendy and Jeremy with Elevation Games, and today we are playing a board gaming classic, Splendor, one of the greats of the genre, one of Wendy's favorites, only partially because she always beats me. Um, in Splendor, you are playing a Renaissance era gem merchant. It sounds incredibly boring, but I promise it is actually really snappy and fun and exciting to play. The rules are really simple, but once you actually start playing, there's a lot of strategic depth to them. So, Wendy, why don't you tell us about the gems that we're going to be collecting?
Okay, you can see there are five different colors or types of gems. Over here, you have diamond, sapphire, ruby, emerald, and onyx. And you'll notice we have four tokens of each color, and that is because we're playing with two players. If we were playing with three players, we would have five. If we were playing with four players, then we would have the total of seven for each color. So, you also have these gold tokens here. They function as wild cards. On your turn, an option that you have is to reserve one of the cards that are displayed on the board, and then you get a gold token with it, which again functions as a wild card as you play.
So, as you can see, we have the board laid out here. And what you're going to be doing with those gems as you collect them is purchasing cards from each of these rows. You've got three different types of cards: your green, your yellow, and your blue. And a nice little graphic design touch here. You've got one dot, two dot, or three dots, and that kind of clues you in on the fact that these both get worth more as you go up and cost more to purchase as you go up the rows here. And so on your turn, basically, aside from collecting gems, you can also use them to pay for the cards displayed here. And once you bring one of these cards into your side of the table, you have a permanent upgrade, which you'll see up here in the corner. So this one, for instance, you get a permanent emerald if you claim this card. You have to pay in order to get it the cost down here in the lower left of the card. In this case, two sapphires and two rubies. But once you have it, that's a permanent discount. So, for instance, if I wanted to buy this card up here that costs one sapphire, four emerald, and two rubies, if I had this card in my hand, I would only have to pay three emerald for this. And so it sort of develops as you play. You're building up these stacks of permanent upgrades over time, so that things that seem impossible at the start of the game, for instance, like purchasing this card at the very top here that costs seven rubies, seems like something. And not seems like, it is literally impossible. There's only four rubies over
That's
there.
right.
um, but as you begin to collect these permanent upgrades, and those discounts get applied, then these more expensive cards become more accessible. And the secondary effect as you build up those cards is you start attracting nobles. Wendy, why don't you tell us about these royal folks at the top of the board?
All right, you'll see we've got three royals or nobles displayed at the top of our play area here. If we were playing with three players, then you would have four here, and if you were playing with four players, then you would have five. It's always your player count plus one. And what these nobles do is they give you bonus points that go towards the 15 points required for you to win the game. And they generally have a high cost. You can see Henry here costs four onyx and four rubies. But once you acquire those and are holding them in your hand, then Henry comes and visits you and then never leaves. But he will contribute 3 points towards your total point value. One thing about these nobles is you have to attract them with the cards that you have in your hand. So the gems that are on the tokens don't count towards that count requirement. You have to have the gem requirements on cards that you've picked up during the game.
Yeah. And so as Wendy said, it's basically first person to 15 points wins. So ultimately, the only thing that really counts towards your victory are these points that you see listed up here in the corners of some of these cards. Um, Generally speaking, you'll see 1 point pop up on these bottom cards occasionally, very occasionally. Um, you get more points in this middle column, and then a lot of points if you get anything on this top column. So that's pretty much the entire game. All the strategic depth really comes in just sort of planning which gems you're going to pick up and which upgrades you're going to go for. So it's a nice, neat little engine builder. It's a lot of fun. I think it'll make a lot more sense as we play through it, though.
That's right. It's one of the fastest games to learn. That's one thing we really like about it, is that it's a quick setup, it's a quick and easy play, and it's easy to teach to other folks as you play through. So in Splendor, the youngest player goes first, so that is me. And so for my first turn, I currently have 3 choices for action that I can do. I can choose one of 3 different color tokens or gems to bring into my play area. If there are 4 gems in one pile, like you see here, then you can take 2 of the same color instead of one of 3 different colors. So because we're playing with 2 players, we only have 4 in each stack. So you can only do that when no one else is holding one of those tokens. And the third option that you have is to reserve one of the cards here and take the gold wild card that you would get. So for me, for my first turn, I'm looking at the cost of the cards here in the bottom row, and I am going to take a diamond, ruby, and an emerald. And that is it for my turn.
And I am going to take a sapphire, a ruby, and an emerald. And one other thing I want to point out too: these old poker chip tokens are so satisfying and nice. It's a real simple thing, but they're just really heavy and chunky, and it makes collecting them, I don't know, just that much more satisfying.
Agree. Okay, so for me, I am going to take a sapphire, a ruby, and an emerald.
I'm going to take a diamond, a sapphire, and a ruby.
So many onyxes over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now that it's my turn again, and I've got a few tokens here in my play area, I have another option for what I can do for my turn, and that is to spend some of the gems that I have on a card. So you can only have up to 10 gems in your bank at any time. I currently have 6, so I'm not required to spend any, but I am going to take 2 rubies, 2 sapphires, and a diamond. And I'm going to buy this card. It has a sapphire, and I'm going to put that into my play area. And then Jeremy will replace the card that I just removed.
And so now she has a permanent upgrade. So anytime she wants to purchase something with sapphires, it costs her 1 less to do so.
That's right.
I am also going to get a card this turn. I'm going to pay 2 sapphires and 2 rubies. And get this.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, so because there are 4 onyxes in this pile, for my turn, I am going to draw 2 of the same color.
And I am going to take an emerald, a ruby, and a diamond.
Okay. Okay. I am going to take a diamond, a ruby, and an emerald.
Okay, so I am going to pay 2 diamonds and 2 emeralds, except I only have to pay 1 because again I've got the upgrade over here to take this onyx card.
Okay. I'm going to take this sapphire. I am going to take a diamond. And and I will take a sapphire. I might have called my diamond a sapphire. Oops.
Yeah.
It was white.
The color is all that really matters here, right? Okay, I'm going to pay 1 emerald and 1 ruby and take this other onyx card. Lousy with onyxes.
'Tis true. Okay, for my turn, I am going to spend 2 sapphires and 2 onyxes. And I'm going to purchase this sapphire.
Okay. So I'm going to take an onyx, an emerald, and a ruby.
Okay, I am going to spend 2 gems because I have 2 sapphire cards. So we're going to play 2 sapphire tokens and take this onyx card. And you'll see it has a point value of 1. So that is the first step towards my 15. One thing I do want to point out, we learned the hard way is not always exactly clear, is even when you see these, it's with a 1, it's not as big of a problem, but on the cards that have 2 or more, that is just the points. It doesn't mean that you have, if this was say a 2, it doesn't mean that you have 2 onyxes. You still just have the 1. Looking at you, Daniel.
And once again, she gets points on the board first. I figured you were going to go for one of those bigger cards because you typically beeline for those pretty quick.
I do, but I've got to build my base first.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to take. Actually, I'm going to take 2 of these.
Okay. I am going to take a diamond, an emerald, and a ruby.
going to take sapphire, a ruby, and an emerald.
Okay, so I'm going to take a diamond, an emerald, and an onyx.
And so you can see the bank is getting pretty low. So at times you can get cornered by not having access to the gems you need to do whatever your plans
That's
were.
right. I have 9 in my hand right now.
So that is something you have to constantly keep in mind.
That's right.
But I'm going to put some more back in there because I'm going to pay 3 sapphires, 2 rubies, and 3 onyx, which I've got 2 cards, so it only costs me 1 to get this guy.
Great. And Jeremy is on the board now. Okay, so I am going to also spend 4 diamonds, 1 onyx, and 2 sapphires that are currently in my hand, and take this card.
Okay. So I'm going to take 2 diamonds.
Okay, so I am going to take 2 sapphires because there are 4 there. And one thing I want to point out is you can see on this ship, it's rimmed in blue. You've got your blue sapphire on there. But if you don't see color as well as others, you can see that there are different shapes for each one of the gem types. So when we play with folks that can't see color or whose vision is not as good as it used to be, they still can just visually see using the shapes of the gems instead of the colors. So that comes in handy with folks that have vision issues.
Which is really nice. My dad is colorblind, and I feel like despite pointing out that there are different shapes, he still had problems at times. But it's really neat that they took that into account when they were designing this. Okay. I'm going to take onyx, a diamond, and a sapphire.
Okay. I am going to take a sapphire, a ruby, 2, 4, 6. Okay, yeah, I was just doing a quick chip count to make sure I wasn't going over.
Okay. I'm going to pay 3 diamonds, 1 sapphire, and an onyx. Pick up this guy.
Okay, and I'm gonna pay 3 chips, and then I have 2 in my play area of sapphires, and I'm gonna pick up this 2-point card. That brings my point total up to 5.
Right. Okay, so now we're in an interesting spot where we have enough cards that at times you will be able to just take a card without having to spend any gems from the bank, which is what I'm going to do right now.
I really need you to spend your emeralds.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. You should have invested in emeralds early on. Cornered the market.
Rude. Okay, so for me...
I'm looking at you, Queen Elizabeth?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna take an emerald, a diamond, and a ruby. I was really tempted to pick up 2 diamonds to see if anybody would notice.
That's not even a house rule. That's just cheating. Flat out. I'm going to take another sapphire.
Okay, so I currently have 10 tokens in my hand. So I have to either take a card that I have enough cards to pay for, or spend some of my tokens.
You can reserve too.
That is always an option. Except I can't reserve because I have 10. Does the wild card count towards your hand count?
It does not.
Oh, it does not.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of these gold pieces, and I am going to reserve this one. No. Change my mind. I am going to reserve this one.
The medieval real estate market is heating up. I'm going to take this guy.
Okay, so I...
Uh-oh.
So I give up. I give up on the card I have been chasing, and I'm gonna pay 2. I've got 1 in my hand, so 2 emeralds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put my wild card in here, and 1, 2 rubies. I'm gonna purchase this card. I have all kinds of discombobulated. Oh, okay.
You're still beating me.
I am. Do we want to give a point check real fast?
Really?
Yeah.
I have 1 point.
That's so cute. I love that. I love that for you.
You just want to do that to point out the fact that you are in fact winning.
No, I'm not doing that to point out the fact I am winning, even though I am with 7 points. I'm just doing that to try to inspire you to release some of the emeralds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for my turn, I'm going to take a diamond. I am going to take a ruby. And I am going to take an emerald.
Okay. I'm going to spend one of my onyx, and I have cards for the rest, so I will take this sapphire. And now I have 3 points. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to take a diamond, a sapphire, an emerald, not a sapphire, and an actual sapphire.
I'm going to.
I think we should buy that one right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if I bet this
one instead? So rude. Rude. Okay, so I am going to spend 3 onyx and 3 diamonds, and I'm going to purchase this ruby right here.
Alright. I'm going to take a sapphire, a ruby, and a diamond.
I am going to take an onyx, a sapphire, and a diamond.
I'm going to take an onyx, sapphire, and a diamond.
I am going to spend 2 sapphires because I have 3 in my hand, and 2 emeralds because I have 1 in my hand, and just buy my own since Jeremy won't release the ones that he has.
Well, if you'd waited a second longer. So I'm going to pay 2 sapphires, 1 diamond. Doing the math here. I have enough onyx and 2 emeralds.
Wow.
Collect this guy.
First one off the top row.
Yet I'm still losing by a lot.
Why don't we do a point check?
I have 6.
Okay. I have.
You say that louder so the microphone can hear you.
I have 11.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of arrogance that gets me in trouble. I am going to spend. Oh, wait, no. Okay. I'm going to pick up 2 of my beloved emeralds.
going to take this diamond. We're just not getting emeralds at all.
I know, it's rough. It's rough out here in these jewel streets. Okay. I believe that I will take... Man. This ruby here.
And I am going to take this ruby.
Okay. And I'm going to spend 3 rubies and 1 onyx. And I'm going to buy this diamond finally.
Oh, wait a second. I missed this.
Oh, the nobles are coming to play.
I don't know who this one is.
It's just a soldier of some sort.
Otto von Bismarck.
Otto von Bismarck is coming to visit. What are we going to serve?
But that does not take my turn.
It does not.
So I will take a ruby, a diamond, and an emerald.
I'm going to take an emerald, a ruby, and a sapphire.
Okay. I'm going to turn these 2 rubies back in to take this ruby.
Do we want to do a point check real fast? Did you just win?
Sure. No, I don't think so.
Because that's what Jeremy will do. He'll just sneak up and win.
No. I have 13? Wait, no.
Oh, man.
No, yeah, 13.
I also have 13. Good thing I have enough to purchase Mel Gibson from the Patriot over here. Onyx card. And bring me up to 15 points.
And there you go. That is
Man.
a typical game of Splendor in every way, including the fact that Wendy won it.
It was tight, though.
True, she usually beats me much worse than that. But that's Splendor.
It's one of our favorites.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like I said, once you understand the rules, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to learn. But there's a lot of depth thinking around, what upgrades to go for, and I don't think I've ever gotten good enough at it to strategically block my opponent. But when you see high level play, that's definitely something they do.
You may not do it on purpose, but you do it frequently.
Sure. By accident, sure. People who are good at this game do it on purpose.
That's right.
So that's it. That's Splendor. And that is the first of our game playthroughs.
That's right.
We're testing this out. We may try some other games. We have a huge collection. You can see, I think that's maybe a little bit of it over here, but just a little bit. Like, there's a lot more on that side of the room. We have a lot to go through, so if there's anything y'all are interested in seeing us play, let us know.
That's right. See you next time.
All right, see ya.